We are back, my friends, creating more RHG characters to add to Stone's RHG universe. As you can see, we're actually at 64. This is number 64 that we're working on. Lemonio is what we're working on. The last one we worked on was Panbutelli. I think I'm saying that right. Is a character that moves peanut butter mass throughout its body to empower attacks, and enemies defeated by Panbutelli turn into peanut butter to add to Panbutelli's mass. Ren's was the one we did just before that. Ren's has these like gaseous orbs that he can spawn, and those orbs can also combine into larger orbs to make weapons. And he uses those to essentially explode in people's faces, and he creates noxious gas. Kermalerma Danners, what's up, guys? How we doing? We're about to get started on to the next one here. We got Lemonio up next. So let's go ahead and get into it. Lemonio. Lemonio. So you know the drill. We're going to go ahead and move everything off to the side here, delete everything, move this down so I can see, grab a random color, and get started. A random color is blue, Lemonio blue. Whoa. There we go. We're off the races. Hey, it's my boy Lemon. I'm gonna let Stone Mountain know we are live. All right, here we go. Lemonio. Lemon James. Alright, so the first step is nothing more than just drawing some poses and seeing if anything speaks to us. Lemonio. Makes me think of yellow. You know, lemons are yellow. Makes me think yellow. I don't know what that means. What does it mean to think yellow? Let's try some heavy shapes. Lemon grab. Unacceptable. This is just the early portions where we're just drawing things. Lemonio, it's your turn, my friend. Lemon. It could be Lemoni. Lemoni. Oh. Oni reminds me of the animator who was really good with swords. Maybe we do something with swords. Maybe. I don't know. This is the doodle phase. The doodle phase. I kind of want to create and make another heavy. Can I do that? We have a brute. What are the other brutes have been like? The other brutes, there was a forest lover, animal lover. There was the big stick guy. Doot. Could we make another heavy? What's up, dude? No, I don't want to know anything about your specific origin, because I don't want it to influence it. You know what I mean? Ooh, that was kind of a good pose. That's kind of a cool pose. I feel like he's holding something in this pose. Oh, I feel like he's got like long hair. Like, What's he holding? I feel like he's holding something. What are you trying to tell me? Oh. What's that? Ooh. What is this? Kind of reminds me of a book. That is kind of like a book. Spider book? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What is this? Why is this? Interesting. Is this another block? Oh! Wait a minute. What if this is another block person like Raxton? But his blocks are different shape. Does this mean something? I don't know. This is just the experimental phase. Nothing here is concrete. Or even matters. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing. And honestly, I don't know why or how it works, but it does. What's up, Agent? So, since it's been working, I'm not questioning it. You know what I mean? I'm just doing. I don't know what this block means. I don't know why I'm making it. But I'm just talking out loud and I'm letting you guys know my thoughts as I go through doing this. I don't know why I'm doing this. Okay. Does this mean something? Is this a backpack? That's the character there. Is this something on his back? Is this duplicatable? Cook more, dude. I'm trying. We're gonna see what happens. You know the process. I know you know the process. Interesting. Again, this could be completely meaningless. I don't know yet. Oh. Is it a shield? Yeah, you gotta trust the process. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing before, and it just worked, you know? Some of my favorite characters came out of just trusting the process. What's up, Mr. Guy? What's up, Agent Smith? How we doing? I like these like rock ideas here. What does it mean? Right? What are these? Could these be something? Ooh. He looks like a sandwich? Kinda, huh? Is this head? It would be restrictive movement if it was like some sort of helmet or something. I don't know. Is it a weapon? Is it a briefcase? Are these briefcases? Oh my god. What if these are briefcases and he thinks he's a businessman? He's part of the Duke McNute Rosk family, and for some reason he thinks he's a businessman. This is definitely made out of rock. It is a rock briefcase that he thinks is like serious business stuff. He's checking his watch. He's not... Oh my god, he's checking his watch. This isn't a weapon, He's checking his watch, which will also be a rock. And it always shows the same time because it's just a rock. Oh my god. Hold on, something's happening. I don't know what it's happening. Okay, oh my god. Okay, hold on. I still don't know what's happening. I gotta see what his face looks like to me. Alright. Alright, Lemon, what's your face look like? Okay. Okay. Okay, so you're an important business guy. He thinks he's on big business. Okay, what else does this businessman have? He has a stone briefcase. What is the stone briefcase's use? And what is the watch's importance? Yeah, he's definitely got a award-winning smile for sure. What does he do with the watch? That is definitely made out of stone. What is he doing with it? Why does he think it's important? Again, we're just answering questions to nonsense because we're insane people, right? We're insane. We're just answering questions that don't matter. What's the coincidence that you're putting my partner into RHG Goober lore? I don't know, like, this is his accountant. What if he hallucinates that he repeats the same day and he's checking his watch to see what time it is in his hallucination? That is very possible. He thinks it's time to do business. Maybe, okay, maybe that's his catchphrase. It's time to do business. But what is the watch for? He has a stone briefcase that he's going to use as a weapon. Okay, hear me out. What if this stone briefcase also, he could use it like, almost like a hatchet, like a blunt hatchet. This is what I see. This is what I see. Because he's a heavy, so he's going to have heavy tactics. This is a weapon. Ping pong paddle? Possibly. Let's see if we can put this arm up above so it looks like he's holding the briefcase. I think that'd be cooler. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I like him. I like him. He's the smartest of all the brothers, even though he still seems kind of dumb. But it's not dumb in a bad way. It's dumb in a funny, cool way. You know what I'm saying? But he's the smartest, or at the very least, they all think he's the smartest, right? Because he's the business guy. Of the brothers, he's the one that's into business. And they know this because he has a briefcase made out of stone. They don't know that matters at all. Okay. He's also not using his hammer correctly initially. What if the stone briefcase can open and take out the hatchet and then place it in the suitcase? Oh my god. I want to incorporate the watch somehow. I don't know what the watch does. I still don't know why I have a watch. He's just checking the time. I don't know why he's checking the time. Does time matter to him? I don't know that it does. I think he just thinks that in business, time is money. What does time is money mean? Time is money. it's his secondary weapon. I'm thinking so. Like, this is a primary weapon. He uses it like this, right? But he's holding it like this when it's business time. But it's his offhand. Remember, remember, this is something else to keep in mind. Heavies usually, because they're slow, right? This guy's slow. They usually have a ranged attack. Is this watch somehow a ranged attack weapon? I'm thinking. I don't want to make it like nunchucks or something. It's got to be cool. A grapple, maybe. Bracelet shield, maybe. It's tiny, though. I would like it to be something supernatural. You know what I mean? Either that or you can probably do some sort of time reverse. Like, you can actually go back in time. What would make him good at business? If time is money, time control would make him very powerful, very useful. But time control is such a fickle thing in animation. I feel like the conditions of it have to be extraneous. Make some TP a short distance. That would be kind of neat. A little bit too OP for a heavy though, because you can really TPing as a heavy is cracked. The watch's latch extends. It can be used to whip or grapple people. That might be too nimble and agile for a heavy. Think of them as a blunt force instrument, you know? Maybe it's a pet. Maybe it's a pet. Is it a pet? I don't know that it's a pet. I feel like it can't be a pet in this circumstance. He could have a pet rock. Well, every businessman, in this guy's mind, every businessman, he has a briefcase, he has a watch because time is money, and he's got to look fancy. I don't want to put another tie on another guy though, because I feel like that just weakens him. A flat pet rock creature that lives there? That lives? Maybe. Oh my god. I imagine something just silly on his head, you know? Like something that means business. But again, it's still just going to be a rock. He could have a book on his head because he thinks that like books are for smart people. And again, according to the brothers, he is a genius. Give him a collar. Is the watch the old shadow clock? What's a shadow clock? Could he have a... Yeah, I think he has a business book on his head. It's for business, because he's got to do business, right? So he has like a book that he has on his head for business. Because he's like a lawyer in his mind. But I want to see, can we tie in this book? Can we somehow tie this book in to the watch in some way? The watch could be a meter for his power, and that's why he's checking. I'm not sure his power could be. Maybe he's checking his watch charges some sort of power. Interesting. You know, back there before we have an actual Quacks, they have this thing where they use the sun to tell time. The sundial. Or they had clocks. Maybe at a certain time something happens? Pauses time to read up the enemy. That'd be kind of funny, but his book isn't real. And I think time control... He doesn't actually have time control, I don't think. It's okay, OP. I understand that. I know how that happens. Trust me, whatever language you speak, I would be no good at even attempting it, so... Okay, so he has a book. I think the book is a decoration. These are decorations. What if the watch latch can connect to the book and he can swing the weapon like a heavy but stretchy? Maybe. Check his watch to receive energy as stamina, so checking in time will make him get stamina because his magic reverse. Okay, I think we're there. I think we're close. I think we're close. Time is money to this guy, right? And that's why he has a watch. Just thinking. We're thinking. Thank you. I have a deviated septum, so I sneeze a lot. This is his business hammer. He has a watch. He's checking the time. Because time is money. Is there anything I can do with lemons? You know what it is? He's lay money, and he can't spell. He thinks his name means lay money. Oh. So he's a lawyer. This is a Duke McNewt Rosk brother species. He thinks his name is lay money. Oh. And he's a lawyer. He thinks he's a genius, but he's an idiot. But they don't know he's an idiot. They think he's really smart. So lay money. Oh. Now, money. Can you have fake money? What's up, Penelope? Does he have fake money? Can the watch somehow... Okay, okay, hear me out. If time is money to this idiot guy, the watch does something that does money. Think about it. If time is money, this watch does money. Because he literally thinks time is money. Right? He's heard that once before in his business book. And so there's something about his watch and money. But again, nothing is real. The book isn't real. The watch isn't real. This is not a briefcase. It is a rock that has been carved with a hilt in it. Can the watch shoot stones? I hope we don't get in trouble, Penelope. Don't tell them that you're watching me. My hammer stronger. Talk like this. The more time the fight lasts, the more money he gains, therefore the more powerful he can use. That's hard to represent though. It's not visual. Maybe over time he gains theoretical money, and the money he has increases stats. I don't like raw stat buffs. I think they're boring. They're hard to represent, you know? He throws bricks of money at people, and it's literally just like rectangular rocks. How can he incorporate the watch? What does a watch have? A watch has hands. It tells time. It has a bracelet to hold it on. He's not even holding it right. He's not even looking at it right. Maybe it's a really good throwing arm. Sometimes I like the secondary thing to be a passive, though. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a personality thing. Like he took a look at the time to see if he's late or not. Yeah, maybe he's late for something. Maybe he has little money guys named hours and minutes and seconds. No, the little money guys would be called his invoices. His little money guys would be invoices because he's billing people. Because time is money, right? And he's a lawyer and he gets paid by the hour. Bye, Penelope. I'm trying to figure... Okay, we're so close, though. Like, he's hilarious. So he uses his watch to track them. Oh, we're close. We're close. Imagine the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, I'm late for a very important thing. Oh, I want this to be some kind of passive. Like the stone is actual money, magic. He does something that makes him get money, and then he receives some sort of upgrade. Like his actual stuff turns into like gold. Maybe the invoices can only exist for a short time. Okay, maybe that's something. I almost imagine these like little like people rocks that maybe they only exist for a certain period of time when he checks his watch. You know? I don't know. He kind of ends up being a summoner. Maybe the watch turns to gold at some point, or is it, in his imagination, it is a gold watch. This is a real book. That's a real briefcase. He's a lawyer. He's a genius. That's his perspective right now. Every time he successfully checks his watch for however many seconds, he spawns a new invoice. Maybe I like that. So like in a fight, he could literally just be like looking at his thing, taking damage. You know what I mean? Like he literally is taking damage during the fight, but he's like, oh, I'm billing you for this. Okay, let's say that. Let's say that the watch is actually magical, though. Let's make the watch actually special somehow. He did stumble across this watch, and the watch is special some way. Let's figure that out. Let's see if we can make that be real. Give me a second. We're cooking. Okay, we're gonna make this watch special somehow. It's a special watch. The watch actually does do something. What does the watch actually fundamentally do? Let's make it look pretty. And that's why he thinks he's a genius. Give me a second. What if I tint? Does tinting work on this? Yeah. Is peanut butter a running theme for these streams, or did I miss something? I don't know where you're saying peanut butter. What's a Baris? The watch is how long the fight is going to be showing a timer on screen. Maybe. Maybe his watch is vibranium and it solves damage. They can use the stored damage to hit his opponent. Maybe. You liking it, Lamodio? I think we're close, man. We are close. We are close. Yeah, I was like, that's kind of the theme I'm going for, Mr. Guy. And they also think that they're like, you know, one's like a forest guy. This guy's like, he's a business guy, but he's not. The other guy's just angry and sad he doesn't have friends. Because he thinks he doesn't. You know what I mean? So he's like all bitter about that. He does fire. I feel like the watch is a passive somehow. I don't know why yet. We're so close, guys. We are so close. The watch is something. I'm waiting for it to speak to me. It's just not saying anything yet. Ooh, the red's kind of nice. Why is it red? Why is it red? Yo, Jizzy boy, what's up, buddy? Hello. Shaking the watch to extent gives him insane reaction time. Think Spidey sense? Maybe, but I don't like giving heavies mobility. I'd like this to be a passive. Think passive or think ranged damage. Speaking of my RHG dude, was wondering if the club is like Can't be destroyed or he gets new clubs. It's really hard. It's a really big stick. It's not going to be something that just breaks. Smartwatch of some sort? No, this is literally made out of rocks. This is genuinely rocks. But it is special somehow. And we need to figure out how it's special. It is genuinely a special watch, but it is still made out of rocks. I'm trying to figure out. We're so close, guys. You know how it goes. The beginning of the process takes a minute, and the end of the process also takes a minute. But it's so important to get them both right. Now, when he saw that he's late, he goes into rage, that causes him to be late. Maybe, but that's also kind of just like a passive, or that is a passive, but it's just a steroid. Prototype of the watch from Mio. Yeah, that's true. Maybe we get some inspiration from some other players here. Is there any other inspiration we can grab from somebody else? Maybe he thinks it's like Mio's watch? Maybe he's waiting for it to go off? Maybe he saw Mio once in this condition and he thinks he's in a similar condition, but he's not. So he thinks he's asleep? Could he think he's asleep? Oh my god, wait. What if Mio's watch, after a few hits with his cane, it freezes time? Is there a way that it could be interesting that a few hits of his briefcase, it speeds up time? Could that be cool to animate? I don't know if that would be cool to animate. Or maybe it makes a large sound. Maybe like Mio's ZZZ, his watch makes a loud sound. And he thinks it's going to do the same thing that Mio's clock does, but it doesn't. What's up, Skelly Guy? Mio's clock freezes time when the alarm goes off. Maybe this does something and he thinks it's doing something else, but it does do something. It's a clock. What does clock do? Clock speeds up time or measures time. Or... Thinking. What's up, Rage? Shockwave clock, perhaps. Depends if you saw Mio sleeping and then saw the activation. True. And because it thinks it does, he gets a motivation, so he moves faster, almost like adrenaline. That's really hard to showcase in animation, though. Like, to deliver it to where the audience feels that that's what's happening, you know? Slows other people down, and he thinks he's getting faster. Maybe. Slow-mo is kind of annoying to animate, though, because it just means you have to add more frames for everything else you're doing, and then double frame everything. We're close. Clock that only affects the time of whatever it comes into contact with. Slowing people down or himself up. Joke suggestion. He says it's time to travel, but he just runs really fast. Oh, he says it's time travel, but he just runs fast. Maybe. I want something to do with money. Time is money. Hiya. Oh, I think it would be so perfect if somehow we can make money. If it somehow made money that isn't money, of course. But he thinks it is, because time is money, right? Maybe it makes coins. What do these coins do? He thinks it's money, but again, it's still rocks. Is there something that these could be making? We're so close, dude. chocolate coins. He throws them at people. Gold coins for payment for their lives. He looks through his fake book and buys things in it with the stone coins. The book doesn't even open. It's literally like crudely painted. It is a rock that he's painted on the side of, essentially, to look like this. Oh, this is close, though. There's something here, dude. The watch is a landmine. I was just thinking, what if these are proximity mines? What if these are proximity mines that this thing spawns? It's not a watch at all, and he literally painted it like a watch, and he thinks it's a watch. Oh my god. Here's what it is. They're not watches at all. It's something that spawns proximity mines, and he made it into a watch. He scribbled onto it to make it a watch. So he literally has a bomb on his wrist the whole time. That's very funny. I like that. Imagine finding a claymore and strapping it to your chest like body armor because you're too much of a moron and you can't read, but you think it's armor. He literally he's got a literal proximity mine on his arm, but it hasn't gone off yet. And why? We have to establish why. These proximity mines only go off under a certain condition. What is the condition? So this thing spawns proximity mines, okay? But we need to create a condition how they're made from the watch. That isn't a watch. That makes it to where, because okay, this works because now we're adding a passive attack that is ranged so that the heavy can catch up, which is what we like for heavies. He made it a watch. It is not a watch, but he thinks it's somehow different than this. It's a proximity mine that creates proximity mines. They have to hit something really hard. That's what I was thinking, because he's never going to hit his briefcase on his own one. Right? So he can throw these out, or they can get spawned, and then when he swings with this thing, it crushes and explodes them. If it detects a poor person, it'll go off? No, because he would die. You have to acknowledge the fact that it hasn't blown up on his person. Like, in his possession, it hasn't blown up, right? So we have to acknowledge the fact that he does not understand the conditions of it at all, but at the same time has never blown his own one up to understand that at all. Okay? Like, we have to acknowledge that reality, right? Because it's way funnier if he has a proximity mine attached to his wrist this whole time, but he put a clock on it because time is money. He thinks it's important, but it's never gone off because he's never done this to it. Yeah, you gotta think caveman logic. Okay, time is money. Time is money. Time is money. Okay, but where? Okay, if this watch, okay, we're close. We have two things we have to fix now. One, what sets it off? There's two questions we have to answer. One, what sets off the prox mines? And two, what spawns the mines from the watch, in quotes? These are two conditions that we have to answer. If we answer these two things, the character's perfect. This is our current dilemma. What sets off the proximity mines? And what spawns? What the? Spines? What spawns the mines from this quote-unquote watch? I find it humorous that he walks in the battlefield and his wrist is just blinking. It is. It is literally like the whole time. What if it blows up on impact and a joke is when it hits somebody with his watch, it just blows up his arm? It could. But remember, he's always watching. He's always like protecting his watch because he thinks that like he's billing people for his time. Maybe the mine is time related and doesn't go off because it's not activated on his wrist. Because the mine needs to be in a stone surface, maybe? Maybe. If it makes contact with other rocks. Him messing with his watch can spawn them? No? We're so close. What sets off the proximity mines? I think we're close. No, we are close. I really want the answer. When we know 1 and 2 of this, I want it to be perfect. Okay, you're here? Okay. Exortine, I want to show you all of the other characters I've made because there's a lot. They're actually genuinely complex. You've been watching 40 bits? Okay. And I think, like, there's some really interesting things I want to cover. Once I finish this character, I want to talk about just some ideas that I have. I need to belt them off. I'm so bursting with concepts and ideas that I wish I was 100 people, but I have to get it out of my head to share. Maybe he's looking at his watch because from time to time it'll pop out of mine. Maybe. Button on the watch that he thinks does something watch related, but actually just launches mine. That's exactly it. But there is no button on it. Time is money equals some kind of infinite spawn glitch. Write that down. Write that down. I wish there was clear conditions. I want to make a visual condition of what sets off a proximity mine and a visual condition of what spawns a mine. If we could write it needs to be visually clear, and it can't just be like an enemy in the area because it would blow up on his wrist. Maybe him watching the clock makes mines out of rocks around him. Maybe. This is, yeah, dude, this is so massive. I haven't shared, dude, I would honestly say that I haven't shared like 99%. Every second that I'm not live for the last like week and a half, 2 weeks, I've been thinking about all of this. Like pebbles end up turning into rock coins. Maybe the thing on his wrist is a spawner, not a mine. I think it's funnier if it is a mine just like this, but it also spawns the mines. Because then it's like he literally has a bomb strapped to his hand, but he thinks it's a clock. But I want it to be the source of where the mines are coming from. It's a mine, but it's also the spawner of the mines. Like, it's unique in that way. Which, maybe I can make it somewhat slightly more special. But, Exortine, as soon as I finish this guy, I'm going to go over some of the ideas I have. Because that might spawn you an idea of what to do. Can I tint this still? I want to tint this something. But I want to finish this guy real quick. And I'm so close, dude. I'm so close, it's agonizing. I still think him hitting the mines really hard caused him to blow up. Like, I think so too. Like, using his weapon on those would be fantastic. Remember that SpongeBob gag where Patrick has a painted on watch? That's exactly what's happening here. That, but it spawns more watches. Exactly. That's literally what's happening right now. Is there anything we could do that spawns? Or that... Okay. Maybe when he looks at his watch, it spawns mines. What if the briefcase itself is one sources to spawn mines, deploys rocks, then him looking at the watch spawns his mini ones. Maybe it spawns rock people, the watch that he calls his debt collectors, and they attack it for him. Almost like golf. Every time he hits it really hard with his mallet, a mine pops out of the clock and explodes in 2 hits. Like if he hits it with the mallet and then hits it with something else that explodes. 2 hits? We're so close. I do think... Oh. What if he just looks at the clock? Every time he looks at it, which is an action, he'll spawn these mines. And then maybe it's just as simple as he hits him with this briefcase really hard. And they explode. Yeah, it's the Watch's eye trackers. Yeah, it's like he literally is like unlocking it, but he thinks his like time is money and he's making... It might be just that simple, because I can literally, the animation could be him, like he physically in the middle of combat has to stop what he's doing, right? Like it makes sense because it's conditional. He can't just like, it doesn't just work all the time. In the middle of combat, he quite literally has to stop what he's doing and visually like look down and bring his arm up and look down, and you can see these things like spring out of him. Yeah, he basically set up Face ID for it. Yeah, he can't just spam looking at his watch. He has just a very powerful imagination. Yeah, because again, he thinks he's a businessman and a lawyer and really smart and very wealthy, and he's the genius of the family. And realistically, he has a bomb strapped to his hand, and he's just lugging around some rocks. But the bomb strapped to his hand is legitimately like a magical proximity mine creator. I just imagine his combat looking like this. Like he swings his mallet, right? And he's beating people up with this. And then he takes a second to invoice, quote unquote, right? He's like, okay, I gotta charge you for this time. And these proximity mites just like spring out. I just solved the problem. They're not. He doesn't have to hit him. Oh my god. My own verbal typo. This is why creativity comes everywhere. They're not proximity mines. They're proximity mites. They're not proximity mines. They're proximity mites. They chase down the enemies. They're ranged. They're simple to animate. And they're super cute. It's Onionling Technologies. Oh my god, it's perfect. I had verbal diarrhea and said mites instead of mines. And that's exactly what these are. They're mites. They're minions, they're cute, they're gonna be easy to animate, they're funny. They don't have to do a ton of damage. You could use a graphic, maybe like 2 or 3 explosion symbols. Oh my god. Proximity ticks. Oh my god. They're proximity ticks. And they tick. Cause clock. He thinks they're clocks. Oh my god. It ticks. So he thinks it's a clock. It ticks. So he thinks it's a clock. That's why he drew a clock on it. Cause he's so dumb. Oh my god. Lay money. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. The tick is not exploding because it's sucking his blood the whole time. The whole time. This thing isn't popping because it's just drinking him. He thinks he's wearing it like a watch, but it's just attached to his body. It's a tick. It's a tick attached to his arm that explodes. And he just drew a watch on the top of it. And he put little bracelets on the side. And he thinks it's a clock. And it's an explosive magical parasite. Oh my god. Oh my god! And it's using his blood, and it's giving birth to more of them. It's the eggs! He's... Oh my god, and when he stops to look at the watch, it's just because he's being still enough for the tick to lay eggs. It's just giving birth, and because he's stopping to look at the clock, it's able to just pump out babies because it's not being flung around. He's perfect. See? That's what I'm talking about. You have to be patient. Oh my god, he's so perfect. You just have to be patient. I'm so happy. Oh my god, it's a magical tick. And he thinks it's a clock. It's attached to his arm because it's blood sucking him. And when he thinks when he's looking at the clock, it's making more of them. And it literally is, but they're just little tick proximity mines. Oh my god. The tears are welling up in my eyes. So does this mean that his weakness is literally timed because he's literally dying? He is dying. He is being sucked to death by this tick. But maybe because he's okay, maybe it's a symbiotic relationship. Because he's big enough, he produces enough hemoglobin in his blood and enough blood that he's actually not feeling the damage he's taking, and it's just enough to sustain the life for the tick to spawn these babies. Again, he's not feeling the damage he's taking, so it must not be that significant. Dude, they get so has small regeneration passive. No, he doesn't need to. He's a big brute. This guy's massive. This is like a tiny leech on a rhinoceros. You know what I mean? Like, you need like 10,000 of these things to take him down. If there's just one, it could probably live its entire life cycle and just totally be okay. Imagine how confused he'd be seeing the baby watches blow up if they eject. So the solution all along is birth. Yeah. Okay, he's done. He's perfect. He's literally perfect. My partner will love this silly dude. He is hilarious, dude. So the tick doesn't see a reason to blow up. No, it doesn't. It has what it wants. They can't... Okay, because he's massive, all of these other ticks are like, the host I'm making my way to isn't sufficient for my life, so they just blow up. This entire guy is made up of dreams and circle of life. And yet, it works. In his mind, he's a successful businessman who is the smartest one in the family, and everyone also thinks he's that exact same thing. He's book smart. Oh my god. That's why he has the book on top of his head, because he thinks that this is where your smarts go. So he thinks he's absorbing the book's knowledge by putting it on his head. He thinks he's getting book smart because he has his... Where his smart comes from is where the book is. He thinks he's book... That's why they also think he's book smart. He's book smart. The greatest mind. He has the greatest mind. The greatest mind. I like how both brothers have some sort of companion except for Dude. Yeah, that's why he's mad. He doesn't have friends. Oh my god, there's so many layers to this guy. He's book smart. Oh, there's like, this guy's just like 100 lines of text. Oh my god, he's done. Okay, okay. Oh my god. Book smart. Book smart. Serious business. Mine is money. Book smart, serious business, mine is money. Okay. Has has magical parasitic tick. Right? Okay, like that's not right. Okay, he does magical parasitic tick. When he checks watch, it gives birth to more ticks. Okay, the ticks are proximity mines that hunt down the enemy. Ticks are proximity mines that hunt enemies. Has magical parasitic tick when he checks his watch, and it's not a watch, it's another tick. He has good ideas when he gets woozy from blood loss. Bro's IQ is higher than his deteriorating inside. Not gonna lie, why I didn't think Rosk being one of the brothers, because their teeth is pretty damn giveaway. Yeah, Bro's intelligence his stat is 0, but they all think he's the smartest. Proximity mites. I like that better. That's so much better. Because it's a play on words. He has magical parasitic tick. When he checks his watch, it gives birth to more mites. I think we'll just go with the mite. Well, I want to put ticks on there though, because ticks clock I think helps sell that. But for the other part, mites is perfect. Mites is literally perfect for the other part. Oh my god. Book smart, serious business, mind is money. Has magical parasitic ticks. No, tick, because it's the one that's on him. Oh my god, when he... This guy has so much, like, so many details that you have to, like, point out or write out that don't matter to the viewer. That's the most important thing, okay? Like, the viewer doesn't have to understand this information that we know. It makes it more interesting later. But the viewer will still see this guy check a watch. These things will pop out. They'll hunt people down and explode. And he's going to be wielding his briefcase hammer. Like so. And then when he's done, he'll hold it like this. The name of the bug is proximity mites, but it's a tick. Exactly. And it's a tick because it's sucking blood and it makes a tick sound, and that's why he thinks it's a clock. Yeah, this is actually number 64. This is number 64. Okay, I think he's done, guys. What do you guys think? I think he's done. I think he's perfect in every way. His club is just a big-ass club that doesn't need anything more than that. It's totally fine. Let's go ahead and update this. And then I want to talk about some stuff. And Exortine, if you're still here, I want you to listen. Oops, I didn't name this how I wanted to. Because I have so many ideas to unfurl and hurl at you before your brain can race on this stuff. How do you get added onto the list? I've been tapping into the streams here and there. So all you need to do is you need to go on this very specific TikTok and leave a comment and be following. This is the most complex one you've done, which is so funny because he's the dumbest. He's the smartest brother, but he's definitely the most creative. He thinks he's the smartest. They also think he's the smartest. Okay. Also, very important, we have to establish his... Look at his brother. The brothers. It's the Brute family. Look at how cute they are. Brother's smart. What faction is he? He's in the Brutes. But we need to decide if he's Neptune or Ultra Savior. Sorry, Stone, you said something that sounded like my Discord name. Exortine is who I was looking for. Okay, so again, now we have to establish his allegiance. Is Lemonio, is he Neptune or Ultra Savior? Neptune or Ultra Savior? What do you think, guys? Ultra Savior would be funny. Savior, I don't know why, but he isn't really malicious. He doesn't seem malicious. I mean, you kind of feel for him, right? I don't know, though. Rosk is Ultra Savior. Doot is definitely Neptune. I don't know. Where does Lemonio fit? Neptune instantly? He's on the team, but he thinks he's on the other team. I'll say he's Savior because he doesn't want his business to live. He doesn't have one. He just believes he does. Oh my god, this is hard. I don't have a definitive for him. To me, it's not like abundantly clear. I can make an argument for either one. Okay. I'm gonna go over some ideas that I'm gonna share with all of you, but I need Exortine to be here for it, and he is here now. But we need to establish one more thing before I do that. He's a businessman. He works for both. He's basically one of those neutral characters. Yeah, he's kind of in the middle. You can see him as being selfish and working for himself, being Neptune, but also you could see him just like being like, I'm being a good businessman. Okay. As long as you can hear, that's the most important thing. What if he chooses Neptune because he heard the planet name and he thought he'd be smarter if he joined? Which brother looks like one that he would rather join? I'm trying to think about it. I'm trying to think using his brain. Who does he think is the more successful business owner? Okay, I think you have to think of it like this, okay? He thinks he's a successful business owner, so he's going to be on the side of the law because the law is on his side. Therefore, I think he's Ultra Savior because he feels like he's part of the law is on his side. I think he thinks the law is on his side because he's a business owner. Oh my god. He thinks his name is Ultra Saver. He thinks his name is Ultra Saver, so he's rich. And he's glowing because of his money. What's up, man? He thinks his name is Ultra Saver. He's on Ultra Savior 1000%. Even if his allegiance isn't more aligned, he doesn't understand any of that. He just thinks his name is Ultra Saver. He thinks he's rich. He's perfect. And his Pokédex entry is number 64. The power of gaslight. Oh my great googly moogly. My brain cells goes down every time more lore comes out of this guy. Okay, speaking of lore. Okay, I think I need to give a quick rundown because I feel like everyone here, I mean, a lot of you here know pretty much everything at this point because a lot of you have been here since the beginning, okay? But I'm going to back up to the beginning, get you caught up, and then I'm going to give you guys some insight into how my brain works and what I'm thinking from here, okay? So, what are you looking at here? You are looking at 64 individually created characters. Why were they created? These were originally and are usernames from TikTok. I made a TikTok and I said, if you left a comment in our following, then I'll make you a character, right? Also, hi, bye, I got work early, so it's bedtime for me. I love you. Have fun. Bye, buddy. Bye, buddy. I love you. Have a good day. You need 5 more characters. I have a, yeah, I will get that. Okay. So, these are all original characters, randomly spawned out of my brain, with, in part, some collaboration from the chat for various different versions of these characters. Now, originally, I was going to do one-on-one battles in a tournament with these characters, right? Just randomly, spin wheel, crow for crow versus arrow ton, right? Cool. But then we'd animate that, bada bang, bada boom, done. But then, something special happened. Neptune was born. Neptune was born completely on accident. And why I say this is because Neptune is special. Why is he special? He was the first god stick figure. Now, why does he cause a problem? Well, if I'm doing a one-on-one tournament and there's a god character, he shouldn't be in the tournament because, well, that's not gonna work. He's just gonna win everything and it's gonna be too boring, uninteresting, and it's just not gonna work out, right? His ability is basically, if he hits somebody with the mace, it creates temporary black hole, they get sucked into it, they die, right? He created OC so he could cure our OCD, exactly. So now, once he was made, I was like, okay, well, I don't really know what to do about that. I guess he's just not going to be in the tournament for some reason. Now, this is what changed everything, the creation of Ultra Savior. He just so happened to be right after Neptune. When I was making him, I started to realize, like, oh, this is like another god character. This is really cool. And when I went to go create the tagline for Ultra Savior, I wrote, I will return you. This is based off of, this is just came to my brain. This is based off the fact that Neptune had chains on his neck, right? Now, as soon as that happened, that created something completely unique that hadn't happened for 50 characters. For 50 characters, this didn't happen. And what happened was I had one character that in some way, shape, or form related to another character. These were all just original one-of-ones that meant nothing to each other until that moment. Then it kind of changed my perspective entirely. Because from here, I'm looking at it like, oh, this god character is the keeper of this one, his brother, his evil brother Neptune. His job is to keep Neptune in check. So now there's 2 gods. So this tournament could be about these 2 gods. They're both not in the tournament. And what if all of these characters now are either on Team Neptune or Team Ultra Savior? That will establish who can go against who. Not exactly each and every one for the matchup, but quite literally, here's one team and here's another team. So that's great. Now we have like a concept between not just a random spin wheel, but, you know, teams. So now we have teams. Then I started looking at, wait a minute, these characters have some similarities. What if now that they exist and they have 2 gods, that means they kind of exist at least under the same universe, maybe even the same planet. And then I started noticing there's similarities in characters in certain traits that came up randomly. So for instance, Raxdem has these ears, right? Well, if you also notice, El Stevie has these ears. So these 2 characters probably come from the same region, or they could. Then I started realizing there's other similarities, like there's clowns, Not Me, Habalaba Bobo, and most recently Renz. And there was other features like demons, things are things that are from like the underworld, Tua Central, Spectre, maybe even Shadow. He doesn't have a whole lot of details, but you know, there's certain things that I was like, okay, maybe we can make classifications. Maybe these characters can exist on a planet. And then I thought, well, what does this planet have? Some sort of keeper, some sort of protector, right? If there's gods, usually there's something underneath gods. I drew this character over here as a summon for Raxdem. Originally, he was going to be like a summon golem that would attack instead of Raxdem attacking. But I didn't like the idea of having a summon character with something this intricate to animate all the time. So, but I still kept this guy. So now I realize this guy is like the guardian of this planet. Now someone suggested in the chat that it's not a planet. What if it's Stone Mountain? So what if it's literally a mountain and this guardian is like a earth bender? He's a world creator. And so the whole planet isn't a sphere, it's a ginormous mountain that has separate microclimates. And on these separate microclimates, you have different species, like the Doot family with Doot, Rosk, and now Lamonio. You have different sectors where there's the clown people. You have the Shadow Realm people or the Underworld people. You have maybe people who control elements. We did a classification thing here on the list as well, where we went through and did different creature types. So the different creature types that we came up with, there's clowns, brutes, aliens, underworlds, demons, they're separate. The cursed children, which I'll go over, avians, gods, robots, cats, because there's cats, aquatic, and human, right? So it's kind of like the default. Now, the cursed children are El Stevie, currently El Stevie and Mio. El Stevie and Mio are descendants or children of the Neptune and Ultra Savior family, but they're part human. And they're cursed because they're too strong. Mio was cursed by having to constantly be in a slumber. He's constantly asleep. And if he hits with his cane multiple times, it sets off the clock alarm. That alarm wakes him up, but it freezes time. So if you think about it from Mio's perspective, every time he's conscious, everything is frozen and he's in pure carnage. And then he goes back to sleep. Time continues, but he's asleep again. That would suck. He is cursed. El Stevie was a queen of Raxdem's people, but she abused her strength being a half human, half god, right? Or half whatever she is and half god. And so Ultra Savior punished El Stevie by having these perpetual holy chains that hold her down. Wherever she walks, she has holy chains coming from the ground, pulling her down. And how she attacks is she yanks really hard, rips the chains out, hits the enemy with it, and then the chains rip her back to the ground. So she has perpetual chains. Mio's curse was imposed upon him because he was too strong, and the gods feared he would be too powerful. El Stevie's was imposed because she was punished for the horrible things she did as queen, right? But these are considered the cursed children, right? So now when I create a character, I'm thinking, do they fit into a subsection of cat, alien, cursed children, aquatic, brute, right? So now we have this whole universe of characters. All right? But think about what this does. And exhorting, this is where you join in. Now that I kind of got you caught up a little bit to where we're at, I want all of these characters to be animated, but in different ways, okay? So the main goal is to animate this massive one-on-one tournament, right? But I would love to see animations, separate animations that are demonstrations of these characters alive, doing other things, maybe working together. For instance, we made Pan Butelli, which is a peanut butter character who uses his mass to empower his attacks, and if he defeats the enemy, they turn to peanut mass that he can absorb to use for more attacks, right? Now imagine if Pan Butelli, who is on Team Neptune, joined up with Jelly Jam. Jelly Jam's kind of the opposite. Jelly Jam attacks, parts of Jelly Jam goes everywhere, splashing everywhere on the ground, and Jelly Jam can jump into those piles of jelly to travel around very quickly, right? So what if there's an animation where Jelly Jam and Pan Butelli are working together doing something completely separate from the tournament, as if they're hanging out or testing each other's battle powers, right? Or maybe it's a 2v1 versus somebody, right? I have a whole idea that I cannot get out of my head of a short using just Rosk, and I want you to get in my brain for this. Just Rosk. You see Rosk, right? And Rosk is just happy to be there hanging out, right? He's just standing there. And this is what I imagine. This is the whole short. I don't know what this is doing. Oh, it's exporting. Hold on. This is important. So, let me draw. Hello? Give me a second. It's freezing? Question mark? It's not doing anything. It's frozen? Okay. Flash is broken, I guess. So let me describe it. You see... Yeah, I saved. We're good. So you see Rosk, and the Onionling is on the ground. And he's not thinking anything of it. Maybe he's admiring the vines on his weapon, right? And another stick figure walks past Rosk. Rosk's not thinking anything of it. And the stick figure punts the Onionling. Literally, like, frustratingly kicks it. Right? Here's Rosk. He's like this. He's looking at his axe, right, with all the vines on it. And he's like, he's having a good time, right? He's literally happy. He's like this. And the Onionling is just hanging out, kind of doing whatever over here by itself, right? A stick figure walks by. He's just like a regular stick figure walking by. He punts the Onionling, right? He's just like, get out of my way. So the Onionling goes flying. The other stick figure is not thinking anything of it. He's still, after punting it, just walking, right? He's just going this way. The Rosk is going to sit here. He's not paying attention, but the vines all of a sudden will be pissed off. The vines, because remember he has sentient vines on the cleaver, get pissed. And they're like at attention, right? Then Rosk looks at what just happened, and all of a sudden Rosk's leaves on his back literally stand up and bend, and they wiggle like a rattlesnake. And then he hucks the cleaver at the stick figure, who again still isn't paying attention. The cleaver sticks in his back. The vines grab the stick figure and pull the stick figure onto the cleaver even tighter. And he just falls. And it's just a pool of blood. And the stick figure is completely cut in half. And then the Onionling like cries and runs back to Rosk. That's a whole short. It tells you who Rosk is. It demonstrates his power. It shows his personality. And it gives you a real insight into that character itself. But do you see how that has nothing to do with the tournament? That has nothing to do with any of the other characters. But I would love to use these characters in various different other ways like that. In trends, that's just a short. But then imagine if you had like hold on, let me find another one. Give me a second. Again, my mind has been racing with this. I can't, it just won't stop. Everybody do the flop. Hold on.
Everybody do the flop. Everybody do the flop. Everybody do the flop.
That, right? Now imagine if one of these characters, whoever would be perfect for this, is animated doing that. And maybe in some way, shape, or form, it illustrates their character's ability, their personality. Maybe we take someone who's funny, and it does it. Maybe it's Cashier, and when he falls, the bat hits the ground and coins flop everywhere. Whatever. All of these characters could slowly be introduced in various different ways, either working together in some way, animated in some kind of trend, or have their own individual shorts that as the world is being built out and as the tournament is being set up and as the tournament parts are being done, the audience will get to know more and more all of these characters. So I see it more than even just the one-on-one battle. I want the full picture and scope that we're kind of talking about to slowly be unveiled to people who are following. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a lot. There's so many. Like I said, there's like 10,000 plus hours in animation in this, potentially ahead of it. Because now each one of these characters, if I ever have a collab, I'm going to pick one of these that I feel is best for the collab, that I'm going to do a collab part for. Anthology of pretty much this universe. Exactly. Also, okay, there's one more idea that I need to share with you guys that is, I think, is brilliant. So, when we have the tournament, When we have the tournaments, right? Give me a second. This is important. When we have the one-on-one tournament, there is something that I decided, because I went back and forth on this many, many times. And when it comes to stick figure animation fights, especially with these kind of characters that are really complex and detailed, and complex in the sense that I want their abilities to shine, I want the battle to occur on a white canvas. Okay, but I have a really creative way that we're gonna do that. Every animation relates back because it's in the same universe, just happening at a different time. Exactly, they're all part of the same universe. So this is my idea. They're gonna come back. The gods are gonna summon the god. This isn't a collab. The gods are going to summon the players here to this nether underworld where Andre's Arena is to start the 1v1s. Okay, you following me? Imagine you have a bunch of stick figures, over here and a bunch of stick figures over here lined up, and the two gods are in the center, right? This is terribly drawn, it doesn't matter. Now what they're gonna do is when the combatants that are gonna fight 1v1 walk up, one of the gods is gonna set their battle stage, and what they're gonna do, this is how we bring in the white stage, but we make the white stage actually canon. They're not gonna fight on this stage. The stage that the gods make for the one-on-one battle that they're gonna have is gonna happen on a white canvas. Why? Because it's not a white canvas. It's an empty, vast white space. Think like the Matrix. Remember when Neo's in the Matrix? And he's learning from, oh my god, Neo, Matrix, White Room. Hold on. Remember when Neo's in the Matrix? And he brings him to this white void of a room? That's where they're actually canonically going to be fighting. This is where they're canonically going to be fighting in. So, the white canvas, the iconic no background canvas that stick fights occur on, will be shown in the battle tournament animation. That is the gods bringing forth the 1v1 and then snapping their finger, and you have a white expanse that fills the room, and both combatants like drop into this white space and realize that they're in a vast empty battle arena. But it's still just what we've always been animating on this entire time, which is a white canvas. So one, this will streamline and making the battles not only feel very open and wide, but it'll also speed them up because we don't need to have multiple different shots of really highly detailed backgrounds, and all of the attention could be on the combat and the effects and the interactions the characters have with each other. Get it? So each battle will begin when it's a 1v1 regular tournament animation with the two combatants coming up, one of the gods or both, showcasing some sort of like finger snap or some gesture of some kind that then puts them in the vast empty white canvas room. Stone, I want to animate you for that so badly. Okay, do you see, for those of you who have been paying attention this whole time and are like dialed in exactly how I'm like exactly what I'm explaining, do you have that feeling that just makes you yearn to animate it? That's the thing I'm good at. That's what makes really talented animators shine and have some of the best animations they'll ever make. Okay? So I know this thing is special because it has that same feeling. So I know the vision in my mind is so clear I can't get it out. The way that I have it is not going to be a collab where it's like an open collab thing. This is something that I want to do, or have very few select people that help me execute it because I can see it so clearly. But the point is, even if in this thing I'm only executing this thing either by myself or with a very small group, let's say, it does not mean that all of these characters cannot be open for other people to make their own inspiring animations using the characters, their own interpretations of using the characters, their own shorts of their characters, their character interacting with these characters. Do you see what I'm saying? That's where my brain is at. That's what I'm thinking about now with all of this. I even have the story in my mind of how this ends, and I can't tell any of you it. How we get there is going to be how this all unfolds, but I actually have the ending to what I call the first season, and I think it's going to be incredibly exciting. But that ending doesn't matter because there's like 10,000 plus hours of animating between me saying this right now in that ending. But I do have the end in mind. But it's how we get there that makes me really excited. Do you have to write it down just in case you forgot? I actually sent a voice memo to 2 people. And it's a voice memo because I don't even want text to be seen on anyone's screen. I sent a voice memo to 2 people verbally that timestamps when this was decided and what it was. So anyone can make an anim so long as it's in the universe of OCs. I want people to look at what I'm doing and be inspired to participate in any way they feel at all. For example, you're looking at it right here on the screen. This is one perfect example. Do you see the sides of the screen here? This is Neptune and Ultra Savior. I didn't draw these. These are done by Queenly. I put Queenly on the side of my screen. Some art she did. I believe it's her or she that she did a few years ago. She came, found that I did this, was excited, and submitted her name on the comments on the TikTok. So then I made her Queenly up here. Her character. And she has since, in some way, shape, or form, been following what's happening. And she made her own art of Neptune and Ultra Savior. Every little bit of things that people do that they are doing purely because of the inspiration and excitement they receive from the thing that is happening becomes part of it. You get what I'm saying? It all builds the world out further. Just seeing this photo of Neptune, you guys right now have a better vision of what you think Neptune is like. I know I can't define that for you. That's the coolest part about all of this, the coolest part about creativity. I can't define how this makes you feel. But when she made this is a very good example of someone participating in this thing that collectively is happening. You see what I'm saying? And this isn't the only example of this. That's just a small piece. This is just one example. Another example, another good example would be of Crow for Crow's banner. I didn't ask Crow for Crow to do that. But because they were either inspired or felt that they wanted to be a part of this in some way, they went through and made this really sick banner of all the people that were currently on Team Neptune. This is the kind of thing that makes people who are very talented explode into the best versions of their creativity. It's what I created RHG for in the first place. It's a mechanism to inspire people to do things that they want to do the way that they do it because they want to be a part of something or create or add to something. You see what are you getting what I'm saying? So I have a very specific vision for what I want to do. Okay? But it doesn't mean that only I can do these things. I'm still going to do the thing that I'm going to do. Right? But it doesn't mean that you can't do things like this. And I'm going to blow this stuff up because I love it. It makes me even more excited, even more inspired to continue to build the world out. Every time you do something that is inspiration-led, that is created from a place of joy, it changes the world in a profound way. And I can tell you this from confidence because I've seen it. I've seen the end of the rope. I've started it with that passion and feeling within me, and I've seen it go full circle and seen people's entire careers prosper. I've seen people create jobs, opportunities for not only themselves and for other people. I've seen people who have fundamentally changed their community based off of the start of things that are similar like this. People don't realize that something very small can have a tangible and real impact in the world. And all I know, even though it's stupid little stick figures, all I know is that when I do stuff like this, it does that. It gets that feeling, that special feeling, and then that special feeling stuff like things just happen from that, you know? You're creating your own little community essentially, which is amazing. That's all I know how to do. That's the thing I'm good at. I get really into something, I go crazy, and I don't. Magic happens, but the important thing is I'm just the spark, and the fire that it creates is the thing that's special. I just create a spark, and it's everyone's collective joy-based, and joy-based is the key ingredient. It's not making anyone doing anything. It's not giving directions for someone to do something. It's not creating a box around what they can and can't do. It's about creating an environment that gets people so excited that they don't want to sleep because they want to get the creativity out of their mind and onto the screen or the paper or however it is that you create. And that's why I'm excited about this. Because I love all of these characters, and I feel like I could animate. Like if I've spent probably 5,000 hours animating Andre for on and off for the last 15 years, right? And he is Electric Hammer. Do you have any idea how long I could animate Rosk for? With sentient vines, a cute little onionling thing, an affinity for the love of the forest, and a gentle kindness brute with crazy strength and a ginormous machete cleaver, I could animate this for the rest of my life. And I can do that same thing with all of these characters. And that's how much I know can be built into these things. And every person who creates fan art of Rosk, who creates their own short of Rosk, who animates their own little onionling, who puts an onionling bouncing around in their collab part, you see what you get what I'm parting? It makes a non-tangible universe tangible. You're creating something from nothing. It is nothing. It came out of my brain, and it's on the digital screen, and then it's transferring to you, and you're doing your own interpretation because it excites you to participate in it. Yeah. The crossovers. And then other people see those crossovers. They had their own interpretation based off of what I did. Then they see the crossovers. They get more excited because they're like, oh my God, other people are also excited about this. That makes my excitement feel even more valid. Now I want to add Rosk to my thing. And I'm being specific because I want to show how it literally only takes one. Buttersmith is hilarious. Buttersmith creates rubber butter from his palm and a hat that freezes objects. So he sticks his rubber butter generating hand in there and creates frozen rubber butter weapons. It's rubber butter because I want this to be elastic and strong so that he could have it attached to weapons so they could be like springy, you know, like he tosses a dagger and it goes to full extension and then it launches back at him. I can animate this for 10,000 hours. And they're all like that. They're all like individual little things that one of these probably is going to speak to you in some way, and maybe it fits into your strengths as an animator, and because of that, you're going to want to animate it. What's up, Aster? Oh, and the duos would go so hard. Another reason Buttersmith would team with Skelly Guy. Exactly. Think about all the duos. There's so many duos in here that would be so cool. Yo, one of VC. What do you mean? What do you mean? What's up, Hatena? Can I pitch an idea for my RHG? So here's the one thing I will say. When I'm creating people's RHGs, I don't want customization influence. I'm more than willing to incorporate ideas that collectively we're coming up together, but I don't want to be just like handed, this is my character, can you do this? Because I feel like I will want to do it, but I also feel like it restricts my potential organic creativity. Some of my best characters came from me making mistakes, from me scribbling something weird, and it ended up being my favorite idea. You know what I mean? So I'm not opposed to ideas coming from the chat when we're making it, but I don't want something that kind of creates a framework before I get my own chance to have random ideas. You know what I mean? Because I'll just get stuck on them. And they might be good, but I want to be completely open and free when I get to your character. You know what I'm saying? Yo, want a kiss? Sorry, VC. That's small bite. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I get so excited going to bed. You guys have no idea. And I literally have dreams about it. I wake up thinking about it. I'm thinking about different shorts, different 1v1s, different trending things, trending audios that I hear where I'm like, it'd be really funny if Waddle Duck did that trending audio as like a way to illustrate the personality and the character, you know? Or if I have a collab coming up that I'm going to participate in, am I going to choose, you know, 2 Essential to animate the dual blade staff or the battery acid demon, you know? Is this why you're up late right now? Yeah, I get too excited, I can't sleep. I do that too. That's good. That's why you have special things that inspire people. Because you're utilizing that energy. That's your left brain telling you, hey, that's a really good idea. That's the thing you're supposed to be doing. Go do it. You need to go do it. It lights up your brain because it's trying to scream at you that that's what you're supposed to be doing. It's a 12:30 a.m. dude. Yeah, it is. It is. Which is a good point. Maybe I should cut it off here before we move on to our other characters. I will be streaming tomorrow. I'm also going to be on DojoCast tomorrow talking about character creation. So maybe I cut it off here for now. I'm going to make a post that's going to contain Buttersmith, Cassia, Renz, Pan Butelli, and Limonio. I think it's a good place to cut it off now. I really want you guys to kind of like, for those of you who are on the same wavelength as me, let this simmer. You know what I mean? Think about the words that I said. And I don't want you to take action on anything that you don't want to do. But I just want you, if you're feeling something about this and you're excited about something and you want to do it, you should do it. And I mean that not just with this, but with anything in life. If there is something that is keeping you up at night because you're excited about it, do something about that. It's really powerful, okay? I'm going to be working on this again tomorrow. And I'm going to be working on more characters because, again, I'm not really making good progress on this list. We currently now have 64 characters created, but we're up to 91 characters to create. All right? I don't want to pitch it customization-wise, just an idea for my character. Oh, I'm more than willing to hear those. Yep, as long as it's in good conscience. I never want to be in a position, and this is why I wasn't always a good boss. I never liked telling people to do things that they didn't want to do. It doesn't mean that people didn't want to do work for me. They would work for me, but it was always at a place of more fun. And I really, really think that's important, especially in animation. So I'm always very careful when working with people on something because I want to make sure that they want to do it. You know? And that's the hard thing, is because I have now a clear vision in my mind of what I want to do. I just want other people to be on that same frequency with me. You know what I'm saying? But only if they're there with me organically. If you're a blue sword guy and the original one you make as secret allies but on different factions, could that be cool? It's possible. It's not impossible for sure. But anyways, I will leave you with that, friends, since it's really late here, and I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. I hope you had fun. I had a lot of fun. Lemonio might be the most well-crafted genius character of all time. If you didn't get to see this character created, please, please, please go watch this part of the stream. The whole thing is art. Okay? He may look simple, and he is, but he's also not, and it's genius. I promise you. Anyways, friends, I love you. I will be on tomorrow more than definitely. Okay? I will be on for DojoCast no matter what, but aside from that, I also go live at another time. All right? I love you guys. Have a great night, okay? Okay, goodbye. Goodbye. Okay, goodbye.